Hello teachers! Welcome to Let Review with Teacher Jazz. I am Teacher Jazz at kung bago ka pa lang sa aking Facebook, TikTok at YouTube, i-hit mo na kagad yung like, follow, and subscribe button para naman maka-access ka sa letter-related content gaya ng coaching sessions and drills. Ano nga ba yung instructions natin for this session? Again, drills with ratio tayo. Magbibigay ako ng question, basahin ko siya sa inyo once, and then you have 10 seconds to answer. Okay po, we need to maximize the time, pero pwede nyo rin naman siyang i-pause, wala namang problema doon. Basta we just need to maximize our time para naman masanay kayo sa mabilisang pag-analyze at pagsasagot ng professional education sa licensure examination for teachers. And again, I just would like you to learn and enjoy kasi nga po, this is just your review season. Hindi pa po ito exam. Kaya wag masyadong dadamdamin kapag nagkakamali or mababa ang sagot. Or not sagot, but the scores na makukuha ninyo. It only means that you need to review more. Okay, and to improve your review stage or your review plan. Okay, so once again, you just have to learn and enjoy. This is the time na pwedeng-pwede nyong itama ang inyong mga mali. Start na po tayo sa number one. Miss De Vera would like to get insights on the performance of her students, so she used different assessment activities like KWL chart, simulation, and practice exercises in her instruction. Which of the following is she using? A. Assessment of learning, B. Assessment as learning, C. Assessment for learning, D. Assessment in learning. Your timer starts now. Okay, mag-keywords muna tayo. Ano kaya yung mga keywords? Tingnan nyo kung match siya sa keywords na meron si teacher or si coach. Again, we have here insights on the performance. Ngayon, sasabihin ko sa inyo kung itong dalawa lang yung keywords ninyo or performance lang yung keyword ninyo, sisiguraduhin ko na there is a high chance, probably, okay, na mali ang sagot. Okay, na mali ang sagot. Bakit? Kasi kulang pa yung keywords ninyo eh. Pag ito lang kasi yung keywords ninyo, pwede kayong malito. Dagdagan pa natin siya. Different assessment activities like KWL chart, okay? Simulation, practice exercises. Ngayon, ang tanong ko sa inyo, kapag dito lang kayo sa performance, pwede kasi kayo niyang i-lead to graded. Okay? Pero may mga performance kasi tayo na hindi naman graded. At again, ang KWL chart, if you will visit the DepEd Order series, DepEd Order 8 series of 2015, ang KWL chart po, ibig sabihin niyan is want to know, and also learned. Ngayon, yung DO8 series of 2015, yun yung assessment guidelines. Ngayon, ang tanong, kapag ito yung pina-fill out natin sa mga estudyante natin, ano ang pinagagawa natin sa kanila? Next one, simulation. And then practice exercises. May nakalagay dyan, practice. Meaning, hindi na siya graded. Tanggalin na natin yung assessment of. May mili ka na lang sa tatlo. Ngayon, yung assessment in learning, hindi po ba ito po yung pangalan ng ating assessment course or subject noong college? So, panggulo lang yan. Tanggalin na rin natin yan. Mamili ka na lang sa dalawa, teacher. As or for. Again, kapag as learning, it's for self. Okay, self-assessment mo yan. Kapag for learning, it's formative assessment. That's why, again, practice, simulation, KWL chart ay kasama sa assessment for learning. Kasi ang assessment for learning, it aims to get insights on the performance of her students or of the students before, during, and after instruction, basta hindi graded. Okay? Coach, teacher, di ba sabi mo hindi graded, eh bakit kailangan pa yung after instruction? Kasi nga po, ang assessment for learning, nag-occur yan all throughout the instruction. Ito yung nag-aalaw sa ating mga teachers na malaman kung natututo ba ang ating mga estudyante. Okay, yung simpleng paglalakad ninyo habang nag-group activity ang mga yan, yung simpleng pag-o-observe natin habang nag-group activity sila, yung simpleng pagtatanong natin na did you learn something today or what did you learn today after the instruction, assessment for learning pa rin po yun. That's why it occurs before, during, and after. Ngayon, kung nalilito ka sa tatlong ito, teachers, tandaan mo lang, ang assessment for learning, kaya nga for, it's formative. Okay? Di yan graded before, during, and after instruction. Ang assessment as learning, nakita mo yung letter S dyan, di ba? Self. O, gamitin mo na din yung letter A dyan. Ibig sabihin yan, ako. Meaning, ito yung ginagamit ng mga estudyante natin for self-assessment or for self-monitoring para naman mag-take responsibility sila sa kanilang learning. Okay, sa kanilang learning. Ngayon, yung assessment of learning, yung letter O dyan, kuhanin mo, gawin mo siyang objective. At usually, saan ba natin ginagamit ang mga objective exam? Di ba ginegradean yan? That's why it's summative. Tandaan, again, assessment of objective, summative, assessment as ako or si self. Okay? It's for self-awareness and also self-monitoring. And assessment for learning, it's for formative, before, during, after instruction. Number two, to have more interaction during discussion, which one should you do? A, repeat the question. B, probe. C, select the same students to recite. D, don't allow students to complete a response. 10 seconds. Timer starts now. So again, more interaction ang ating keyword dito. Kapag more interaction, tatanungin kita, teacher, kailangan mo bang ulitin ang question para lang sumagot yung mga yan? Paano kung hindi na naman sumagot? Eh di walang interaction, tama? So X na yan. Kapag probing, teachers ang sinasabi dyan, kailangan ng mga estudyante nating i-elaborate. Okay? I-discuss further. Yung mga kailangan nang i-discuss further. Next one. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, more interaction? Hindi. O, suspend muna natin yung judgment. Again, critical thinking, suspending judgment before arriving to a conclusion. O, may tanong na ganun sa Prof. Ed, ha? C. Select the same students to recite. Kapag paulit-ulit yan, sila't sila pa rin. More interaction? No. D. Don't allow students to complete a response. More interaction? Ayaw mong patapusin? Of course not. That's why our answer is letter B, probe. Again, kahit hindi mo alam yung meaning ng probe, mahahalata mo naman na ang sagot is letter B. Okay? Kasi mali na talaga yung letter A, C, at D. Negative answers sila or negative options. Ngayon, maraming nalilito sa pinagkaiba ni probe kay prompt. Ngayon, teachers, ganito lang yan. Sasabihin ko sa inyo, you have to be very keen or you have to be aware of the difference ng dalawang ito kasi it is important in professional education. Kapag probe, tandaan nyo lang, teachers, it's elaborate. Yung estudyante, pinapa-elaborate natin sa kanila yung sagot nila. Or ang question natin dyan is nagsisenter sa why. Bakit? Kaya nga probe. Okay? Next one naman, kapag prompt naman, teachers, when we are prompting the students, meaning we are leading them to a particular answer. Again, kapag prompting, we are leading the students to a particular answer, a specific answer. Okay, so kung magkakaroon tayo ng analogy dito, ang probing usually yan for open-ended questions kasi nga, bakit? Tapos para makapag-elaborate si estudyante. Ang prompting naman for close-ended questions kasi nga, particular answer lang hinahanap natin. Nililid natin sila to a specific answer. Okay? Number three, as a teacher, I noticed that my students' weakness is retention. To help them with it, what should I give them? A, games, B, mnemonics, C, survey questions, D, simulations. 10 seconds, go. Okay, let's have this. Again, weakness daw ni estudyante si retention. At marami rin po ako diyang nakikita, by the way, ng mga teachers natin na let taker na nahihirapan sa retention. Kasi sinama ko po yan doon sa aking FB page, yung commonly asked questions ng mga let takers. Hanapin nyo na lang po doon sa Let Review with Teacher Jazz. Makikita nyo doon, baka makatulong yun sa inyo. Kasi may sagot din provided doon. Halimbawa noon, paano pag mahina ako sa retention, ano ang kailangan kong gawin? So kapag mahina ka sa retention, ang kailangan mong gawin is of course, mnemonics. Ano ba tong mnemonics na to? Yung mga letters na pinagsama-sama natin. For example, kapag mga conditioning, PCSO, tama, it's Pavlov, classical, Skinner, operant. What else? Sa mga curriculum types natin, marami tayong yung Bill Mines, di ba? Ang iconic Bill Mines natin dyan. Again, yung sineshare ko po sa inyo na shinare ng professor namin sa multiple intelligences, yan yung mga mnemonics para naman mabilis nyo siyang matandaan. At gagana ito, not just only in Prof Ed but also in Gen Ed. Okay? Number four, teachers should avoid A, teaching to the test, B, inquiry-based instruction, C, self-directed learning, D, reflective activities. 10 seconds, go. Okay, so ganito, sobrang konti lang ng nasa STEM natin. Pero may keyword ka na kagad dyan, avoid. So automatic, kapag avoid yan, hanap ka ng isang negative. At yung negative dito is teaching to the test. Bakit? Teaching to the test kasi ang iti-teach mo lang ay yung mga kasama sa exam. 'Di ba po? Ang iti-teach mo lang ay mga kasama sa exam. Of course, hindi pwede yon. Or yung mga lalabas lang na item sa test. Hindi pwede yon. Okay, so masyado tayong madaya doon. Although minsan nangyayari yan kasi gahol na tayo sa oras, sa sobrang daming events, 'di ba? Sa sobrang daming suspension of classes. But then again, this is professional education. That's why you have to be professional and at the same time, you have to be ideal. Okay? You need to do what is best, regardless of the what ifs and regardless of the mga obstructions or interferences sa ating teaching. Ang inquiry-based instruction, again, pag inquiry-based instruction, teachers, meron niyang kalaban or kamuka, rather. Hindi kalaban pala, pero kamuka project. Ngayon, differentiate natin siya. Nandito naman na tayo. Kapag inquiry-based instruction, again, your purpose is to inquire, to discover. Ngayon, si problem-based instruction, meron ka na ditong tinatry na isolve. Okay? You need to inquire in order to have solutions. Okay? Meaning, may inquiry pa rin siya. May element pa rin siya ng inquiry. Pero, you need solutions na in this one. At yung project naman, teachers, may inquiry ka, may solutions ka na, and of course, may output ka. Yun lang pinagkaiba ng tatlong yan. So, wag malilito. Magkakamuka, kasi lahat sila may inquiry element, pero again, yan yung differences nila. Next one, self-directed learning. This is very positive, very learner-centered. And this one, reflective activities, learner-centered then. That's why our answer is letter A. Five, the teacher punished the students because of their uncontrollable noise. The theory related to this is A, social learning, B, behaviorist, C, meaningful reception, D, cognitivist. 10 seconds, go. Okay. Ngayon, ang sabi dito, punish the students because of their uncontrollable noise. Kapag may punishment, may reinforcement, saan ka pupunta? Punishment, may reinforcement. Di ba? Ang punishment at ang reinforcement, element sila ng con conditioning. Ngayon, ang conditioning, pag kinokondisyon mo yung behavior ng isang estudyante, ng isang tao, of course, it will fall sa theory na behaviorism. Sino ang nandito sa punishment na ito? Si Skinner. Saan to? Sa operant conditioning. Huwag kakalimutan ha, yung operant conditioning, makikita nyo sa aking previous video, nandun yung positive, add to increase, 'di ba? Yun yung mga positive and negative reinforcement, tapos positive and negative punishment. Mukha lang siyang complex kapag narinig mo, pero madali lang siya. Okay? Visit niyo yung isa kong video, nandun yung detailed explanation nun. Next one. Social learning, ito ay yung Bobo doll ni Albert Bandura. Okay, ni Albert Bandura. That's why it's social learning. Kapag meaningful reception, meaningful learning theory, okay, sino ang kasama dyan? Si David Ausubel. Si David Ausubel po, si David Ausubel, nasa kanya yung advanced organizers. At anong meron sa advanced organizers? Apat lang yan. Graphic organizer. Next one, expository. Next one is narratives. Next one is scheming. Ito yung mga advanced organizers. Okay? Next one, cognitivism. Again, this is focused on the mind. That's why it's cognitive. Okay, as opposed to behaviorist is a behavior. And again, ano nung pinagkaiba ng behavior kay attitude? Si attitude, nandito lang, si behavior, ginagawa. Okay? Si behavior, ginagawa. Six, these learners learn best through oral communicative activities like lectures and discussions. A, visual learners. B, tactile. C, kinesthetic. D, auditory. 10 seconds, go. Okay, ito yung mga learning styles kung tawagin. At sabi dito, oral communicative activities. Oral communicative activities like lectures and discussions. Saan kaya dito involved yung nagsasalita ka at nakikinig ka? Of course, it's under auditory learners. Kapag visual, again, sa mata yan. Pag tactile, again, sa touch. Kapag kinesthetic, body movements. Kapag auditory, hearing, and also pwede ka na dun sa mga oral communicative activities. Okay? Seven, what is the implication of Vygotsky's idea of scaffolding? Before you answer this one, you should know who is Vygotsky. At kung hindi mo kilala si Vygotsky, dapat alam mo kung ano yung idea niya ng scaffolding. Kasi naririnig mo yan lagi, yung scaffold na yan. Pag hindi mo alam, alamin natin yan today. Okay? A, don't spoil the learner by doing what he or she ought to do. B, give the learner a task that challenges his or her ability. C, give the learner the necessary assistance until he or she can be on his or her own. D, from the start, leave the learner to himself or herself because he or she has the power for self-learning. 10 seconds. Okay, so we have here this one. Again, Vygotsky's idea of scaffolding. Ngayon, kapag sa professional education, hindi ka familiar dito, medyo tagilid tayo dyan. Okay? Kasi wala tayong makuhang clue sa STEM, kundi si Vygotsky lang yung theories, tapos yung idea niya na scaffolding. Ngayon, tulungan kita, basta ang answer natin dyan, Vygotsky scaffolding, it's letter C, giving the learner the necessary assistance until he or she can be on his or her own. Bakit? Kasi ang ibig sabihin ng scaffolding, tutulungan mo yung estudyante. Okay? You're giving them assistance or that student assistance para matutunan yung isang bagay. Iko-connect mo yung what he doesn't know to what he wants to do. Okay? It's the connection between kung ano pa yung hindi niya alam doon sa kailangan niyang malaman. This, yung nasa gitna nun. At ito yan. It's the ZPD, the Zone of Proximal Development. Basta narinig mo yan, kay Vygotsky na yan kaagad. Vygotsky. May kasama pa yung isa. Anong tawag sa'yo bilang taga-guide? Isa kang more knowledgeable other or knowledgeable other. Or isa kang MKO kung tawagin. Bukod kay ZPD, scaffolding, meron ka pang MKO. Ikaw yon bilang isang guro or yung isang taong nagbibigay ng assistance. And again, ito yung things the learner cannot do. Tapos, things learner can do on his or her own. Ang scaffolding mag-occur dito sa zone of proximal development, things the learner can do with help. Yung assistance ni MKO by MKO. Assistance given by MKO. Vygotsky. Tandaan. Number eight, which of the following is the essential feature of the eclectic method? A, it combines all the best features of all other methods. B, it is the most used method. C, it is recommended by curriculum expert. D, it is applicable to all types of learner. 10 seconds, go. Okay, kapag eclectic method, again, ito yung pinagsama-sama. Kapag pinagsama-sama, of course, the answer is it combines all the best features of all other methods. Tandaan, eclectic, sama-sama, combination. That's why the answer is letter A. 9. This refers to a progressive series of changes of an orderly, coherent type leading to the individual's maturation. A. Development. B. Proximodistal. C. Cephalocaudal. D. Growth. 10 seconds, go. Okay. Again, wag malilito teachers, yung growth, magkaiba sila kay development. Basta progressive series of changes of an orderly, coherent type. Again, it's development. Kasi kapag growth, it's quantitative. At again, ano po ito? Quantitative. At again, ano tong growth? Again, size, height, at weight. Lahat ng may numbers. Lahat ng nabibilang mo, lahat ng nakakount mo. Kapag proximo-distal, again, palabas. Okay? Palabas. Kapag cephalocaudal, again, ulo, pababa. Pababa. Yan, huwag kakalimutan. Okay, let's have number 10. A teacher who is a recognized expert in carpentry works taught his students how to prepare and construct good and aesthetic furniture from local resources. What cultural transmission process is this? A. Observation. B. Acculturation. C. Enculturation. D. Indoctrination. 10 seconds, go. Okay, so again, we have here the keywords carpentry works and also local resources. Local resources. That's why our answer is enculturation. Isa-isahin muna natin. Ang observation, you're just observing. Okay, ang indoctrination, ito dapat ang paniwalaan, so dapat ito ang paniwalaan mo. That is the idea of indoctrination. Okay, next one, acculturation versus enculturation. Kapag enculturation, sinasabi natin yan, again, refers to the process of learning and internalizing their cultures. Okay? Yung culture natin mismo. Yun yung enculturation. Kaya tatandaan nyo, kapag enculturation, ethnic, para mabilis ninyong matandaan, na ang enculturation ay dapat sa atin. Sa atin. Kapag naman acculturation, okay, acculturation, the process of cultural exchange when people from different cultures come into sustained contact. So, ang acculturation is from outside. O, ayan, ganyan na lang. Tagalog na Tagalog, outside or others. O, ayan, ganyan din na lang natin. Imbes na letter O yung others, gawin mong letter A para mabilis mo matandaan. Basta ang enculturation, sariling atin yan. Ethnic, para mabilis mo matandaan. Acculturation, galing sa outside dahil ito ay galing sa others, as in letter A. Number 11, textbooks can be used to best advantage by A, using them one at a time, B, basing achievement tests on them, C, combining them with many other kinds of instructional materials, D, utilizing the study questions found at the end of every chapter. 10 seconds, go. Again, kapag textbooks lang yung kailangan mong gamitin or yung ginagamit mo, syempre, ang mahalaga dyan, kailangan mo yang i-combine sa other kinds of instructional materials para naman maraming ways matuto yung mga estudyante mo at para may variety ka ng instructional materials. Okay? Mas marami silang info na makukuha. 12. The Department of Education gives greater emphasis on the development of basic skills. What is the philosophical basis for this? A. Pragmatism. B. Essentialism. C. Existentialism. D. Perennialism. 10 seconds again. Go. Okay, ang sabi dito, emphasis on the development of basic skills. Although alam na alam nyo na ang philosophies at kapag basic, although alam na alam nyo na essentialism yan, still tackle pa rin natin yung mga philosophies. Okay, ano ba tong mga philosophies na to? Very quick lang. Again, kapag perennialism, ayan, wait. Balik tayo dito. Kapag perennialism teachers, ang focus nito is of course, what is long-lasting? Kung ano ang forever. Okay, kung ano ang forever. Okay, that's why it's perennialism, long-lasting. Ang mga examples niyan ay history, literature, and great books. Kapag essentialism, 3 hours. 'Di ba? Usually 3 hours lang yung alam natin, but honestly, it's 4 hours. Meaning reading, writing, arithmetic, and right conduct. Okay, at subject mastery. Pag progressivism, of course, this is very learner-centered because the focus is the growth or are the growth and development of a child, of a learner. Kapag behaviorism naman tayo, teachers, again, managing behavior and shaping behavior. Incentive and punishment, reinforcement and punishment. Kapag constructivism, we are letting the students build on concepts, okay, and construct knowledge from their background experience and background knowledge. Tapos yung hahaluan siya ng information na bago na makukuha nila. Okay? Constructing knowledge. Social interaction. At ang social reconstructionism naman, basta problema ng society. If you want to rebuild the society, the problems of the society, you want to take part and resolve them, try to come up with solutions, di ba? It's social reconstructionism. Next one. Kapag linguistic philosophy teachers, language use, communication. Basta ang language, ang sinasabi dito, magiging malinaw ang lahat kung malinaw ang pag-send at receive natin ng messages. That is linguistic philosophy. Kapag existentialism, wag malilito ha, kasi si progressivism teachers, nakafocus siya sa growth and development ng isang estudyante. Kapag existentialism, nakafocus siya sa freedom at choice. Kasi nga, it's about your existence, finding purpose, at may values clarification. Kapag pragmatism naman tayo, teachers, again, the focus is yung practical. What is practical? At kapag realism, of course, the reality, the objective truth. At ang mga example niyan ay yung mga subjects like science and math kasi nga very objective sila. They only require one answer. Okay? Bawal kang mag-essay, 'di ba? Or bawal kang sumagot ng napakalawig diyan kasi usually ang science and math may isang correct answer lang sila. Okay po? Next, 13. Which instructional process will be most appropriate if Teacher Ryan wants maximum student interaction in his class of 50 students? A. He identifies students to do class presentation and interrogates the presenters after as class listens. B. After his lecture, he divides the class into small groups to share their reactions to identified issues. C. After his lecture, he conducts an open forum. D. He makes them research on an assigned topic that requires them to share their findings. 10 seconds once again, go. Sa parteng ito, lahat almost ay tama. Pero hahanap ka kasi kagad dyan ng isang strategy na magbibigay sa'yo ng maximum student interaction. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng maximum student interaction na to? Of course, dapat yung bawat isa, okay, ng mga estudyante, nakakapag-engage sila sa kapwa nila estudyante. May active participation sila. Okay? So again, hindi lang sila tatayo sa unahan para mag-present at para tanungin ni teacher. Okay? Hindi lang sila basta-basta mag-share ng kanilang opinions at hindi lang sila basta-basta magre-research. That's why our answer is letter B. After his lecture, he divides the class into small groups to share their reactions to identified issues. Again, ulitin ko sa inyo, ang letter A, teachers, it's just class presentation. It will not give you the maximum student interaction. Letter C, open forum. Again, yes, open forum siya, pero hindi niya matatakel yung bawat isa ng estudyante. Okay? Kasi nga, open forum, it will require big groups or the whole section. Next one, he makes them research on an assigned topic that requires them to share their findings. Kapag nag-research ka lang, of course, kailan ka pa makikipag-interact kapag nag-share ka na ng findings. And the question here in number or in letter D is, kanino mo i-share yung findings? Wala namang sinabi. So, possibly, in a general sense pa rin yan. That's why, hanap ka nung may maximum student interaction, yung dinivide sila sa small groups, para naman may one-on-one interaction din sila, at the same time, collaborative ang kanilang ginagawa. 14. Grading students at the end of a quarter or learning period is also known as A. Assessment as learning, B. Assessment for learning, C. Assessment in learning, D. Assessment of learning. 10 seconds again, go. Our answer here is, of course, it's assessment of learning. Kasi nga, may grading na tayo. Kapag as itself, pag for formative, kapag in, wag na yan, panggulo lang yan. Okay? 15. Here is one principle for a developmentally appropriate education. Individual variation characterizes children's development. What is an implication of this to teaching? Learning. A. Compare learners with one another to determine who is best. B. Let learners compare themselves with others to draw their best performance. C. Let learners progress at their own pace without comparing them with others. D. Group learners according to performance and organize a contest among the different groups in class. Timer starts now. Okay po. Our answer here is again, keyword muna, keyword, bago ko i-reveal yung answer. And sabi dito, individual variation characterizes development. Kapag po ba individual variation, may variety. So meaning, nagkikater siya sa individual differences. Tama, sa differences ng mga estudyante natin. Kasi nga, individual variation yan. Ngayon, hanap ka nung pinaka-inclusive na gagawin, okay, ni teacher sa teaching and learning process. Ano kaya yung pinaka-inclusive dyan? Yung hindi bababa yung confidence ng estudyante. Kasi nga, iba-iba sila. Okay? That's why our answer is letter C. Let learners progress at their own pace without comparing them with others. Okay? Kasi yung letter D, may comparison na yan. Tapos ginroup mo pa sila according to performance. Paano naman yung mga nagpe-perform ng, 'di ba, yung below average? Tapos pinagsama-sama mo din sila. Tapos nag-organize ka pa ng contest. Hindi siya student-friendly. Kaya our answer is letter C. 16. Constructive alignment in the curriculum enhances the chances of the learners to achieve learning. How is constructive alignment manifested in the school curriculum? A. When teacher assigned a homework at the end of the lesson. B. When the teacher will have finished teaching the planned lesson. C. When the learner's attention is sustained during the class. D. When the teacher's objective matches with the strategy and assessment. Timer starts now. Okay, so the keyword and the first and last and also the only keyword that you will have here is constructive alignment. Delikado na tayo, teacher, kapag hindi mo alam yung constructive alignment. Kasi, baka mamaya mamali yung sagot mo dito sa number 16. Ngayon, pag di mo alam yung constructive alignment, isipin mo lang, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng alignment? Hala, teacher, di ko rin alam kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng alignment. Isipin mo na lang kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng align. 'Di ba? Pag hindi mo rin maisip kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng align, balik ka sa experiences mo. 'Di ba kapag yung bata, yung isang baby, lagi natin pinapaganto, align, 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 align. So ibig sabihin kailangan magkatapat 'yan. Meaning kailangan magkatapat, magkalinya, magka-match sila. Ima-match ni baby yung finger niya dun sa finger ng matanda kasi nga kailangan nilang i-align. Tama? That's why kapag constructive alignment, dapat may match. Okay? May alignment. That's why our answer is letter D. Objective matches with the strategy and of course the assessment. Dapat magkakasama sila, magkakamatch sila. 17. Which tests are said to be decontextualized? Again, it's decontextualized. A. Simulation tests. B. Performance tests. C. Simple or cold tests. Or D. Tests that measure HOTS. 10 seconds once again. Go. The answer here is Kung hindi mo alam yung decontextualize, hanap ka na lang dyan nung hindi pasok sa kanilang apat. Simple recall test. Bakit? Kapag decontextualize, teachers, ano yan, iba yan sa contextualize ha, yan yung medyo negative na term ng contextualize. Again, kapag decontextualize, hindi contextualize, meaning hindi siya simulation, hindi siya performance, at hindi siya test that measure higher order thinking skills. Usually, ang mga decontextualized test natin or yung mga activities natin ay mga simple recall test, mga traditional test, at mga lower order thinking skills na test. Okay? That's why hindi contextualized, decontextualized. 18, which is wrong to assume about traditional assessment. A, it can assess individuals objectively. B, it can assess individuals at the same time. C, it is easier to assess than performance tests. D, it can assess fairly all the domains of intelligence of an individual. 10 seconds, go. Okay, so we have here the keyword wrong. Ano daw yung mali, teachers? Again, ano daw yung mali to assume about traditional assessment? Traditional. Pag traditional assessment, of course, hindi yan mga performance tests. Okay? Yan yung mga decontextualized tests. Okay? That's why it is wrong to assume that it can assess fairly all the domains of intelligence. Again, domains of intelligence. Madami yan. Yung mga tipo ng intelligences natin, ng isang, or tipo ng intelligences ng isang individual. Do you think that a paper pen test can measure the domains of intelligence? No, right? That's why letter D is the answer. Okay? Yung letter C, it is easier to assess than performance test. Of course, kasi pwede kang gumamit dyan ng zip grade. O, tandaan, teachers, zip grade, nalabas din to sa professional education. Baka may tanong kayo, napahanapin kayo, ano kaya yung application na pwedeng makatulong kay teacher sa pag-check ng multiple choice? Zip grade. Okay? Zip grade. Tandaan. Ginagamit din po yan sa DepEd ng ilang teachers at even sa private school, minsan yung ibang teachers gumagamit din yan. Okay? 19. I like to develop the synthesizing skills of my students. Which one should I do? A. Ask my students to formulate a generalization from the data shown in the graphs. B. Direct my students to point out which part of the graph is right and which part is wrong. C. Ask my students to answer the questions beginning with what if. D. Tell my students to state data presented in the graph. Timer starts now. Okay. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, teachers, anong ginagawa nyo kapag nagsisynthesize tayo? Nagsisynthesize. Synthesis. Again, kasama po ito sa Bloom's taxonomy. At ang other terminology sa synthesis ay create. Okay, so meaning pinakamataas siya. Kapag nagsisynthesize tayo, meaning nagsasama-sama tayo ng mga specific or pinagsasama-sama natin lahat ng specific details in order for us to formulate a generalization. That is synthesizing. In order for us to create a generalization. Kaya nga siya synthesis. Okay? 20. When the class seems unruly during the discussion, what is the best technique to employ? A. Prepare energizers. B. Let them stand for a while. C. Stop the discussion. D. Ignore the students who are making noise. And once again, teachers ha. You are a teacher answering professional education and not a teacher inside a normal classroom na talaga namang sobrang daming nagdadaldalan ng mga estudyante. Paalala ko lang po sa inyo kasi that should be your guide in answering this question. 10 seconds, go. Siyempre, dahil ito ay professional education, ang answer natin dito ay prepare energizers. O magpa-energizer ka dyan, di ba? Kapag ka medyo magulo na yung mga estudyante mo, hindi na sila nakikinig. Although, very practical at realidad yung tayo muna, di ba? So, ito very traditional, yung patayuin mo sila. Yung stop the discussion, ay ito, kitang-kita naman talaga to. Titigil ka na lang, tapos pagka tumahimik na sila, sabihin nyo, ano, okay na? Okay na? Masaya na kayo? O, tapos na kayo magdaldalan, kayo kaya magturo dito. O baka mamaya, teachers, ha, hindi po ito yung sagot. Kaya hindi kayo mag-stop ng discussion. Mag-prepare kayo ng energizers, kahit pikon na. That's why letter C is not the answer. At yung letter D, pag in-ignore mo yung students who are making noise, so hindi rin po ito kasama. Ngayon, si planned ignoring sa methods and strategies, planned ignoring kapag hindi naman masyadong 'di ba, bulahaw yung noise ng mga estudyante mo, then you can just do planned ignoring. Okay? Pero again, D is not the answer. That's why letter A is the best answer. Okay, so kumusta naman po ang mga scores natin dyan? So hopefully may mga naka 15 pataas or 17 pataas dyan. Pero teachers, kung medyo mababa, ang score again, huwag masyadong dadamdamin. Natuto ka ng mga correct answers this time, kaya i-apply mo siya next time. Okay po? So once again, this is Let Review with Teacher Jazz. See you sa next coaching session natin. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.